Are you afraid that F1 is abandoning the traditional tracks, and will it backfire on them?
Well, all these street tracks coming in over the last 5 years, 4 years, not even. Maybe Formula E had it right all along. Now Formula E are going away from all these street tracks and going to places like Misano and Portland and Shanghai, and Formula One are jumping on the street track bandwagon. Back in the day when we had, Monaco, obviously, and Singapore, would you call Albert Park and Montreal street tracks? I guess they're parkland circuits, aren't they?
I was thinking the same thing. What do you call them?
They're not really street tracks, especially Montreal. But I don't know. Are we getting away, bringing it to the people? Some might say, but getting away from the traditional tracks. I mean, Barcelona's been on the calendar since '91. So, of course, with the infamous Senna and Mansell side by side into turn one. Indeed. So, I mean, we had. I'm just trying to think back to the end of the noughties before the GFC. There was a big boom in Spain, helped, I guess, by Fernando Alonso's double world championship in the middle, where we had Aragon pop up, Circuit Navarra, which has just been bought by Motorsport Vision, and the British Superbike Championship will be having their opening round in Spain this season instead of going to Silverstone. And a couple of other tracks that have just popped up in Spain, and then it's deflated a little bit, and now we've got it coming back with Madrid. I was a fan of Valencia, I have to say. Did think it was a good circuit. Shame it fell by the wayside. Hopefully this doesn't go the same way. One thing I was instantly interested in when I saw the track map, if Kobe can flick that back up on screen, was where is the pit lane and the start-finish lane?
That's what I was thinking.
I would guess that straight on the left-hand side of the image would be the start-finish straight.
Yeah.
It isn't, it'll be flat out DRS. So where is it? The good thing, I guess, they will use that park area on the right-hand side to have the fan park and all that kind of thing, a bit like, as you mentioned, Josh, Miami, where they've got like the inbound lake with all the silly boats parked in it and the Hard Rock Cafe area, that kind of thing. It'll be a similar around there, I guess. But it'd be disappointing to lose Barcelona from the calendar, although that may or may not happen.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because this is actually somewhere where I can actually have a bit of insider gossip that I'm allowed to say this year, because when I was there in testing in 2019, I spent a lot of time with the locals there, and I was talking to them both in English and in Spanish as well. They're fantastic people, very, very kind and very, very helpful. And I was talking to them, it's like, they all love that Formula One is there, but they hate the fact that it's called the Spanish Grand Prix. Catalonia wants independence from Spain, and that is why you see at the Grand Prix that there are two national anthems, the national anthem of Spain and the national anthem of Catalonia. And the Catalans do want independence. And from what I'm hearing, very similar to what we have with MotoGP, where they run the Catalan Grand Prix, it looks like Barcelona, the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, will become the Catalan Grand Prix, which for me, I'm more than happy about, because ever since I went there in 2019 and I spoke to the locals, a bit like I was very passionate with the Saudi Arabia, I'm very passionate about the fact that they love Formula One there. They hate it's called the Spanish Grand Prix. And I can completely agree with them on that, because if you go around that area, it's an industrial site, so it's very much a working class area, and it feels so friendly and so passionate and vibrant. It's a great area for a race. And then you go into the city centre as well, down, of course, just a few minutes away. And they are very passionate in that area about it all. They're very passionate. And if you go down Les Ramblers as well, every 100 or so meters, you get the Catalan flags and people passing them out and little yellow bands as well for independence. It's fantastic. I've actually brought one of those back for my friend Sophie. And they are fantastic. And to have the possibility of them having the Catalan Grand Prix, I'm 100% for it. And I did feel when I read that from Stefano Domenicali, who said we might not lose the track, I thought, oh, he's going Catalan then. And for what I'm hearing, the negotiations are in for a Catalan Grand Prix. So
yeah, no, I don't disagree. I mean, we've got 4 Spanish races for MotoGP. Yeah. Of course, the Spanish Grand Prix at Jerez, the Catalan Grand Prix at Barcelona, then we've got Aragon, which has been on and off the calendar, and the Community of Valencia Grand Prix. Then There's the whole Basque thing in northern Spain is another separate part that they want to break away and become independent as well. So it would be good to have it on the like when we had during the COVID times, we had double Grand Prix at places where there were two different names. This is sort of have two races in the same country at different tracks. So I know a lot of people do bag on Catalonia for the fact that the racing there has not been brilliant over the last however long. But we've had some, surprises there. Of course, the two Mercedes running into each other. Pastor Maldonado getting a win in the Williams 11 years ago. Can you believe? More than that now. Be 12 years this year. Incredible.
Wow.
And all other things that have happened at that racetrack. So it would be a real shame again to lose. It was talked about Spa a couple of years ago. That might be going away now. It's held on for the moment. These classic proper racetracks making way for downtown street circuits.
Yeah, when did we point out that Spa was a street track until 2007? Just technically it was. It was one of those weird hybrids, wasn't it? Where because from Curve de Port Frere, Blanchimont, the bus stop, La Source, Eau Rouge, all the way down
up to Lake Com.
Yeah, that was streets. It was a street track, and then they built the infield section. It's so bizarre thinking about it. But yeah, everyone going, "Oh, we can't lose Spa." It was a street track. But yeah, they've modified it since. Now it's completely closed off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, also. As Adam says, F1 used to run a street circuit in Phoenix, Arizona for the Grand Prix 1990, 1991, and they completely changed the layout each year because of problems. But yeah, we had Phoenix. We're losing tradition and flavour everywhere. IndyCar has ignored Pocono for years now. I agree, I love Pocono. At least Milwaukee is back. Yeah, the Milwaukee Mile getting a double. NASCAR has been doing this for 20 to 25 years. At least they bought North Carolina and Wilkesboro. Is it North Wilkesboro?
Wilkesboro, yeah.
No, Wilkesboro. I don't know why I got North Carolina in my head for some reason. Jackson, hello, Jackson, says a lot of people suddenly adoring Barcelona. Do you think we should be afraid of old school tracks being put on the chopping block for street circuits? Yeah, definitely. Especially as I'm also hearing rumours more and more that they want another street circuit in Europe, but we're like I think I heard a Berlin street track was trying to be worked out, which is great to have a race in Germany, don't get me wrong, but why not Hockenheim or Nürburgring? It's weird.
Yeah, we do definitely need to go back to Germany in some shape or form.
This is the big one, though, and this is the one that Jackson's hit the nail on the head. Osaka have launched a bid for the Japanese Grand Prix, and Suzuka, their contract is up at the end of this year, and they've just had a date change move, which is more favourable to that of Osaka. So it's a bit on the nose. Yeah. So it's a bit on the nose here, whether or not that's going to happen or not. But I think if Suzuka went off the calendar, the drivers would properly riot. We went to Fuji for 2 years.
Then they weren't happy about that, were they? Back in
they were not.
Went to Fuji.
They were not, and in fact, Alonso said that despite he won it in 2008, he said he'd never race there again, and then he did it in WEC, which was odd to me. Yeah. But yeah, because he crashed into in 2007, and it really hurt him. He said it was one of his worst crashes of his career. Up to that point, Alex said it would help if F1 cars were actually able to engage in battles instead of them being massively spread out. That is true. All I will say on this is that everyone, Alex, you say that, but one of the best races of the year has been Vegas. Yeah, exactly what I was about to say.
And
Singapore. Yeah, the two best races last year were street tracks, but Singapore was strategy based, and Red Bull had an off day. Las Vegas was good because it had a tight first sector that brought everybody together, and then it opened up in the second and third, and that gave us the long straight with the DRS. That's why it was a good race. So there was a bit interesting there as to whether or not we had a great race. I still think Silverstone was a bit like that this year on my front, but COTA was good. Really enjoyed COTA and Sao Paulo and Mexico. So there were some good races in the last year. Alex says yes, but I feel as though there were good battling, even if it was relatively spread out. It may have been a large gap, but Checo and Charles were going at it, and Charles had a hard fight with Max. That's true. Max did have a penalty that was able to serve and keep. The hard part of street circuits is dealing with city politics. Just look at NASCAR and Chicago as well. And I suppose as well, Joe, working in the public office, would know a lot about what it takes to do motorsport as well. So
just generally
Yeah, I trust him on that 100%. In fact, I wish Joe was able to come on the show tonight. He'll be able to tell us more about that. We'll have to drag him on next week and have a quick word about it, because this is going to be a developing story, especially if Osaka is getting involved. Probably won't hear anything about that until after Suzuka early April on the 4th. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Formula One, even though it's in the off-season, is just dragging controversy around left, right, and centre. We are going to keep across all of this because it's going to be hot topics throughout.